a boiler of gas. When I tried to turn it on, apparently there was a gas leak on the whole apartment, and that's the explosion.
Hi, this is Shelomo Solson, the host of the Teenage Impact Podcast, where we share stories, tips, and specific strategies on how you as a teenage kid can overcome any struggle in life. Whether you're being bullied, whether you have anxiety, whether you're going through depression, whether you have confidence issues. I've interviewed over 50 people from around the world on what they've gone through as a teenager, how they overcame those struggles, and how you can too. I have phenomenal news for you. After interviewing 50 plus people from around the world on what they have gone through in life and how they overcame it, and based off of my own experiences and how I created success in my own life from overcoming challenges, I have put together an 8-week online program called Building Resilience 101. Now, if you're going through some type of struggle, if you feel lost in your life, if you truly don't know who you are as a person, Building Resilience 101 is the perfect program for you, because I'm going to walk you through on how you can manage your emotions no matter what you're going through in life. I'm going to show you on how you can discover who you are so you can make an impact in our community. And I'm going to be providing a discount in the first month of this course release. So if you're interested in this course, message me on Instagram. My handle name is at Shelomo Solson. In the description, it's going to be at Shelomo, Shelomo, Solson, Solson. So message me to get a 50% discount. Today's podcast guest is Alexis Hernandez. Alexis was going to be a first-year medical student in Mexico when a life-changing event happened. When he was at his apartment, there was a gas leak, an explosion that happened, which burned 70% of his body, left him in the hospital for 7 months and in a coma for around 20 days. And then Alexis is going to share his story on what happened and how you can stay positive during a life-changing moment. Give it up for Alexis Hernandez. We have Alexis tuning in from Puerto Rico. How you doing, man?
Everything is great.
Great. Before we go into the explosion, let's go into who Alexis was before everything happened. I know you're a pre-med student and you had some goals and aspirations. So can you go a little bit more on who you were before?
Actually, I was actually in med school.
Okay, med school.
So a lot of people in Puerto Rico, they want to go to med school, but there are only 4 universities, and it's more people that want to go into med school that there are schools. So not everyone gets in the schools in Puerto Rico. So we used to go some Caribbean schools and also to one in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be a little shy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quiet. I don't like to talk very much. So I always like awkward when talking. So it's weird for me. But as with the accent happened, I just have to give a twist to what don't see it as a tragedy, it's more of an opportunity, second chance of life. So I've been very vocal. I have appeared in news, in radio, on TV. So
yeah, it's interesting point because I was also very shy. Growing up, I was very shy. I didn't have confidence at all. People used to pick on me all the time. And somehow along the way, like you, I found my purpose with everything going on. But just one more question before we go into the explosion. What were some of the challenges you were going through beforehand?
before the accent,
Yes.
I think maybe social anxiety.
Yeah, social anxiety. I used to have it.
Uh, I just I still have it, but in my case, it was something that it was really harmful because I just stay away from everyone. I didn't like to approach people. It was in a way so it was something painful, harmful for me, and I think that the opportunity that I had after that but changed everything.
So can you talk about the accident and what happened?
Yes, I was going to start med school the day before my first day in med school in Mexico. The week before starting in med school, I started moving from Puerto Rico to Mexico. I went with my family, with my parents. And what I did is I started to set up the apartment, buying everything. And the day my parents left for Puerto Rico, so I can start going to school. That same day, I had a meeting in the university in the morning. Then I went to some mall to see the city in Guadalajara. When I went back to my apartment, I was trying to going to the bathroom because I wanted to study. So I went to the outside the in the patio. There was a gas boiler, a boiler of gas. When I tried to turn it on, apparently there was a gas leak on the whole apartment, and that's the explosion. My first thought was I was going to die, but then I started hearing voices that were guiding me to where to go. And the first thing that I did was going to the flames to get into my apartment to find where I could escape the explosion, the fires. And then I went to another patio in the apartment outside, and someone was in the other building. They were calling me and saying that they were going to help me. But I had a big wall. It was like 10 feet wall, and I was like really injured. But maybe I don't know how I did this, but I jumped the wall and I got to a balcony in the other level of the building. I think fate is something that fate overcomes anything because how else would I jump that well? I'm not athletic. In the my injuries were very bad, so I think fate overcomes everything and desire because I want I wanted to live. So my desire was so big that I did everything in my power to overcome that
And how did people find you and get
because
you out?
okay, I was in my patio was next to the other building. I jumped the wall. I jumped into the balcony of the other building, but someone was telling me that they were going to give. Someone saw me, and the girl said that stay there. I'm gonna help you. So she was trying to bring me a ladder, a chair, so I could jump the wall. But before she got even to the apartment in the where I was going to jump after, I was in the balcony. So they saw me, they saw everything that I did, and they
Wow,
helped me.
very fortunate.
Yes, I was very fortunate. And also, there were a lot of problems because I didn't have insurance in Mexico, health insurance. And one problem with the health system there is that if you don't pay, you are not going to get treatment. The only way that they were going to treat me was if I was paying before my a lot of people helped me to raise a lot of money to pay for the to stabilize me and the first surgeries, and then I was transferred to the U.S. with help of the state of Puerto Rico. I was lucky that so fast I was able to get a lot of money from other people that helped me. It was a lot, so it helped.
Very
I'm
fortunate.
very lucky with that. Yes. And I remember everything that happened.
Wow. From what I saw on your TikTok, you were in the hospital for about 7 months, correct?
Yes,
So you were in the hospital for 7 months, coma for 20, 21 days.
something like that. Some 20, 20 days, something like that.
Uh-huh. And 70% of your body was burned. How
Yes.
did that take an effect on you mentally?
At first, it wasn't. I knew what I had to do to survive and keep going on. It's just continue living. I had a lot of faith before, so at first it didn't matter how I was looking and that I was in a bed and I was completely dependent from others. So at first I had to do what I had to do to keep going on. I had to go to a very, how do I say, painful process in therapies, physical therapy, physical therapy and occupational therapy, the stretching of the body, and everything was so painful. But I know that at the end, if that it was going to help, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't complain. I let my therapist do what they had to do, so
Mm-hmm.
I can get better and have a better life.
Mm-hmm. And how do you think after the accident, your viewpoint on life, how is it different than what it was before?
Now I appreciate life a lot more because before I had like a lot of social anxiety. So when I had another chance of living, I'm just gonna live no matter what. I don't care a lot about what other people think of me. So I'm just happy the way I am. All the progress that I am seeing on me. And just it feels great to be in this place because I have worked a lot to be here. So
Mm-hmm.
it feels great.
Mm-hmm. What are 3 tips you can give to someone overcoming any mental health struggles?
To speak out what they're feeling. So because there are things that you can keep to yourself. Uh, they don't magically disappear. Also, trust more in yourself to overcome your fears.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of the fears they come because you don't trust, because you don't have self confidence. So you have to be more confident about what you can do to fight your fears. And also, I think that never surrender because at some point or another you're going to fall back. You can never stop fighting, so never surrender. It's
Mm-hmm.
important.
So that's really beneficial. Never surrender. Really open
Mhm.
up with yourself. So, what would you say you're doing right now to overcome some of your challenges at this moment?
Like right now, when you call me, I had the computer on the other side of the room, and I use braces to walk. And I took one of the braces on the legs to because I it was feeling I didn't like how I felt. I was feeling really very itchy, so I just had one brace. Um, it's very scary to walk without them
Mm-hmm.
because I can fall. I had to be precautious. But when you call, I just say, let me try this. I don't have one brace, but let me try to go get the computer here. And I can't deny that I was feeling fear, but I had to trust myself and overcome the fears in order to do things that if you don't trust yourself, if you never fight your fears, you never gonna know if you can do some
Mm-hmm.
things like walking without braces.
And you're the perfect example of fighting fears head on. So, I really do applaud you for that. And then, what are some of your goals? I know you're in med school, but do you still
Mhm.
want to continue that route, or do you think there's another path for you?
I still want to continue to go to med school.
Okay.
That's one of the plans because there are a lot of injustice that in the health system, and I want to fight for them. I want to fight for the people to have proper rehabilitation. So
Mm-hmm.
something very challenging.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people have gone through life-changing moments in their life. I know people who have been paralyzed from the waist down. I interviewed so many different people who had that one instant that completely changed their perspective on life. What tips would you have for someone who's going through a life-changing moment?
One changing point I think is like accepting what you're going through. And no matter what, nothing is gonna change what you're going through. So you have to accept that and use that in your favor to maybe help others, inspire others that maybe life is hard, but work hard. Your If you work hard, you can overcome everything.
Mm-hmm.
You just yourself.
And one final question. What does resiliency mean to you? I ask that to everyone. Basically, my whole brand is on resilience. My book is on resilience. My podcast, my programs, everything is based off of resilience. Everyone has a different meaning to it. What does that mean to you?
A lot of people call me resilient, and if I think it has to do with, let me say this, and never surrender, um, and and changing a problem to an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Things that.
And Alexis, where can people find you on social media?
Okay, my in Instagram and in TikTok, I'm Alexis dot Joelpr.
Mm-hmm.
In Facebook, my name is Alexis space Joel Hernandez.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man, for doing this. Really do appreciate you. I think, whatever you're doing, keep fighting. I know you're going to overcome whatever you're doing, and you're a huge inspiration to many people. So I want you to applaud you for being vulnerable, opening up, because it's definitely not easy thing to do. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
There's one important takeaway I want you to get out of interviewing Alexis Hernandez, and that's it. That is a life-changing moment can happen at any time. You can have multiple life-changing moments. You can have one life-changing moment. It can happen at the beginning of your life. It can happen at the end of your life. Whenever it is, we will never know what is going to hit us. Alexis had a will to come out of that whole situation alive. Even when he said, even when he was at the apartment, he knew he had to do whatever it took. He did. After he got out of the coma, he had to go to physical therapy. Life was not the same. He couldn't pursue his dream of going to med school. But he said, life isn't over. Whatever you're going through, accept what you're going through and just do whatever that needs to be done to overcome that specific challenge and hurdle in your life. And he still wants to go ahead and pursue and go to medical school and become a doctor. Alexis did not give up, and neither should you. Whatever you're going through, keep fighting, because your will to succeed and overcome this challenge is far greater than the challenge itself. If you haven't done so already, follow me on Instagram at Shelomo Solson. Throughout May, I am going to be providing a 50% discount on my new course, Building Resilience 101. So if you're interested, go ahead, follow me on Instagram and DM me. So until next time, peace.